Whenever I do a factory tour, one of the things I like the most about the way the plant is laid out is when you pass the wall between phase 3 and phase 4 and you see all these overhead cranes, people are always, their jaw drops like, oh my God, so many cranes. And it seems like we would add more if we could, you know, because we gotta have the right tools. And when you got two assemblers fighting for the same cranes, you know, I can't have that, just add another one. And you see there's like a dozen of them side by side. Holy cow, there's a lot of cranes here. Something else I like to explain a lot also is the shot blasting room, which I'm not sure many players in our industry have, where we're bombarding all our big weldments with steel beads. And when they get out at the end on the other side, they're all clean, but it also de-stresses the part. And then after that, it goes to paint, drying, assembly, final testing, and finally out the door.
Rotobec's reputation has been built on its rotators since 1975. All Rotobec rotators are assembled directly in our plants. In our rotation line, we offer two product lines, the RT series and the RGP series. Each series includes 6 models of rotators. Each week, approximately 35 rotations are manufactured in our St. Justine plant. Before starting the assembly of an RT rotation, the mechanic receives all the parts that will constitute the rotation. The assembly begins with the installation of the bearing and the rotation shaft. Then, the mechanic inserts the bearing housing and greases it. He later proceeds to the installation of the hydraulic collectors and the casing. Finally, the mechanic fixes the motor of the rotation and conducts tests to ensure its sealing and its proper functioning. The rotation is then ready to be washed and painted. A crucial step to having a longer-lasting paint is the preparation process, which includes shot blasting of the parts. In addition to serving as a preparation for painting, shot blasting also greatly increases the durability of welded structures. To begin, the worker will insert protective plugs into the openings that should not be shot blasted. Then, the parts are placed on a rail cart that passes through the blasting machine, where 8 wheels project steel beads onto the parts. This process not only blasts and cleans the parts, but also hardens the metal. The parts are then repositioned on the cart and passed over more than once to ensure that all sides have been blasted. Thinner parts that would be damaged by the shot blasting process go through the washing process instead. The parts are then prepared for painting by grinding out the imperfections of the shot blasting and placing plugs and tape in the areas that are not meant to be painted. Depending on the parts, they're either installed on carts, racks, or on the monorail, and then transported into the painting room. The painter applies the urethane paint to the parts, which are then transferred to the drying room. Once the paint is dried and hardened, the parts are ready to be assembled. Each year, approximately 14,000 gallons of paint are used. This quantity is equivalent to the water in a 27-foot above-ground pool. Prior to assembly, the grapple components are brought to the mechanic's workstation. And the mechanic prepares the parts by cleaning the holes and installing the seals and grease fittings. The mechanic then proceeds to assemble the head and jaws with the cylinders. He then adds the rotation and makes the hydraulic assembly. Once everything's assembled, the mechanic tests the grapple by opening and closing it. He checks that the grapple closes properly, that the oil pressure is adequate, and that there are no leaks. If everything's in order, he finalizes everything by installing the guards, placing the labels, and touching up the paint if necessary. Each week, about 35 grapples are assembled at the St. Justine plant.